Welcome to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Kathy Caperna. And for those of you that don't know our story, Ron and I did 15 years in the prison system. Ron doing time on the inside, while the kids and I did the time on the outside.
And out of our experience, we were able to develop a curriculum called TYRO. TYRO is a Latin word which means apprentice, novice, someone learning something new, a warrior, or a founding father.
That's right. And our passion is to help you become a leader in your home, your community, and your workplace. Not just for you, but for generations to come so that your children have a path of righteousness to follow. So we took all of our experiences and everything we learned about building a healthy, strong, thriving family, and we put it into the TYRO curriculum.
So today we have a great opportunity to be with Al and Kathy Caperna, and really for them to be with you guys to help us help you become better fathers.
Better leaders. And really our tag, which I really appreciated when we were talking before the show, that Al's like, well, basically here, there, and everywhere. And so today's topic is leadership, here, there, and everywhere. Here, there, and every... Oh, I'm sorry. What are you doing?
He's going to write a song for us.
So just tell us a little bit about your background, Al and Kathy, and why you talk about leadership. What have you experienced in your own life?
Well, I would call myself more of a reluctant leader. I didn't set out to be a leader. Again, I set out to be faithful. I wanted to just be the man of integrity, character, honesty, and I always looked up to people that were like that they didn't let their circumstances control them. They controlled their circumstances. So those are my heroes in life.
Yeah, that's a good
And
word.
that's the man I wanted to be. I want to be the pillar in the community that people can wrap their chain around and draw themselves up off of, because I won't move.
That's awesome.
I am who I am, and I'm not changing.
But you never did it really for yourself. You gained so much more pleasure out of helping others, you know, find that strength in themselves, and that makes that whole faithfulness come around.
Oh yeah.
So being a leader in a relationship, you know, when we look at that, what is that? What does that mean, being a healthy leader in a relationship?
Well, you know what? They're going to have to stay tuned to find out what that means. We're going to take a pause and have a short break, and when we come back, Al and Kathy are going to tell us what does it mean to be relational leaders, to exercise leadership within relationships.
So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You'll begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine Caperna's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Kathy Caperna.
And today we have Al and Kathy Caperna. And I'm going to tell you, this has been an honor and a blessing to have them in our studio with us, because they are very busy, important people.
Right. Yes, you are.
They have children to take care of.
Grandchildren.
And businesses to run. So we want to talk about relational leadership. How do you become a leader in relationships? And I really love that the tagline you gave us, Al, before we got started was like here, there, and everywhere. And so, you know, talk to us about what does that mean? What does it mean to be a leader with relationships?
Well, here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, there's a verse that I like in the Bible that says, if at all possible, be at peace with all men or women.
That's right. Ron needs to hear that "or women" part.
So the relational leadership part, and my wife brought this up earlier, is early on in our relationship, I realized if I thought she was 99% wrong and I was 1% wrong, as a leader, it's my job to repent first, to ask for forgiveness first. It's not a percentage thing. Right. If I did something wrong, I'm responsible to ask for forgiveness.
So that's why I do it, babe.
Yeah, you're good at it.
I'm the
You
first
really
one.
are.
Now, I never put it in that context, but
You're the first one to apologize.
I'm the first one to
Yeah,
apologize.
He's quick to do it. Yeah.
quick, like boom.
And from my wife's side too, I guess one of the things I didn't realize when I got older, I'm getting more emotional. I'm reacting more.
Well, it's because you part Mexican?
Yeah,
No, Italian.
I'm actually 100%
100%
Italian.
Italian.
100% Italian.
So on her part, she's had to actually have more patience with me as I work through things that I didn't have to work through when I was younger.
Wow.
Because one thing you'll find in relationship is you change.
Okay.
And just like you grew
Right.
with you on the inside and you on the outside, you had to grow together. And that takes a focus. That's the here. You have to choose to grow together even as you change. Because you don't get to pick how the other person changes.
Oh.
You just have to roll. And that again goes back to something we talked about earlier. It's not about me, it's about him. And he thinks the same about me or your relationships in the community. It's about them.
Oh, wow. That is really
Love
good.
that. I think we lose sight of that.
Yeah, that we don't get to pick. So as we grow and change, we don't get to determine how our partner
Right.
grows and
Exactly.
changes.
Now, we may think we can, right?
and that's trouble
try.
with a
Right,
capital
or
T,
try,
right?
and that's when we create that
And that's where
friction.
you have to ask for forgiveness.
That's right. That's right.
This is why I love you.
Not my job.
Not my job.
And that's a great here, there, and everywhere. I think, and it begins here and there and everywhere. Where is that? In here.
Right.
It begins
right.
first in here, in having what are we looking at this? A business leadership relationship. Because Kathy and I want to run our house with love and joy and peace, but also how does a business run? I think, Al, you talk about that every once in a while about, you got to see your home too as a business, not as social services, so to speak. Yeah. Everything is, I'm doing it for free
drama.
or what? I mean, I don't know. How would you do that? I don't want to feel entitled to you washing my clothes.
Yeah, don't.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah,
I
don't.
mean, not so much as a business, Ron. It's more as that there's principles in business that can apply at home.
Okay,
Like
okay.
having goals. Having a goal for your family. That's a principle that we learn in business, but it applies for the home.
Right. And so how much do you know about business? How many businesses have you started out?
Just a few.
Well, I'm still learning,
Right.
but I've had the opportunity to start a number of businesses, create different patents and things like that. And but the main thing at businesses, I tell my people, I just told some last week, they say at work, don't bring your problems to work. And I'm saying, well, you're allowed to, actually, because you can't leave them at home.
Oh.
So in our company, if you have something going on, we want to talk about it.
Right.
Wow. Well, so what? So to
And
you,
then,
go ahead,
and
I'm
then the
sorry.
reverse is true. Don't think that everything, you can keep your smile on at work, put your face on in the community, and then you go home and you beat your kids or your wife or, and become this animal. Right. That person at home has to be at peace so that when they go to work, they're at peace. And the same going backwards.
Oh, wow.
Who you are at work should reflect who you are at home.
Wow, that's a good.
So you need to be practicing those relational leadership skills in every area of your life.
That's
right.
But you can't silo them. That's what I hear you saying.
Right.
You can't just be a leader in one spot in your life and all the rest is disaster.
Right. You have to decide who you want to be. And once you decide that, your circumstances don't control who you are.
So we're talking about what it means to be that. So what about, like a lot of our listeners, they have their reputation, as Ron would say, has become doo-doo. And it's probably
Right.
doo-doo in all of those areas, everywhere in their life right now. Their relationship with their children, their family, in their community, in workplaces. So is it too late for them?
Absolutely not. And I have a number of employees or people I walk with that have changed their lives. It doesn't happen overnight, but I'm committed to them, they're committed to me. As long as they'll communicate with me and be honest with me, we'll keep working together. As long as they don't do something really stupid where I don't have an option.
Right.
Right.
But even then, I might still walk with them.
Right.
So you got to be in a place where you can be who you are and work through the changes in your growth.
And I think the key thing is being honest.
Right.
Because if you start to say or act like you're not who you really are,
Right.
and more responsibility comes to you because you've exemplified yourself, but really you're not the real McCoy, you're the pretender. No, we teach that.
Right.
Right.
Be who you are right now. Because if you say you're a master at something and then here comes the test,
Right.
and really you're still in 5th grade concerning this life position, your true colors are going to be known and people will get hurt.
Right.
Right.
So when we come back, we got to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about why is it important? Why is leadership important? Why is relational leadership important here, there, and everywhere? So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
playing catch, basketball, laughing, and enjoying each other's company. These are all normal things on the outside, but many times are missed in a visitation setting. TYRO Dads brings the same fun experience to the inside through Family Days. As a TYRO Dad, you have the opportunity to participate in this fantastic event. Family Day is designed to allow fathers and families to engage with each other through activities designed to stimulate communication, learning, and play. Family Days will not only be a highlight for you, but for your children as well. The Ridge Project has strategically developed Family Day as an opportunity to help you connect with your child throughout your separation and help both of you develop skills to continue building your relationship when you return home.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Kathy Caperna, and we have the privilege of sitting next to beautiful Kathy Caperna and Al Caperna.
And handsome Al Caperna.
That's right. And smoking hot
Hey,
right outside.
hey. And so this is my lovely bride.
Today, to get back to the important stuff, is relational leadership. And why is it important? Why is it important here, there, and everywhere to be right in your relationships and to lead well?
And really, why should I care?
Yeah.
Why should I care?
Well, you know what I think about when you say that when you're with some people and you leave the room, they've sucked all the air out of the room.
Oh,
you leave the room and you feel depressed and empty. And when some people you're with, you leave the room going, that was great. I could spend all day with them. So part of the reason you care is because do I want to be the guy that sucks the air out of the room, or do I want to be the one that brings life to the room?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. And
Kathy,
Kathy,
what
do
you
you
got?
think?
Well, I love the here, there, and everywhere. I think about the relational leadership that you have. You want to be consistent. You want to be faithful, whether it's in your marriage, with a friend. You want to know you can be counted on to be who you say you are. And that starts in relationship. If you're not faithful to a friend or to your husband or to your family, what makes you think that you're going to be faithful in a job or faithful in a community where someone gives you a chance to make a difference? And I know these men that are learning to be fathers and leaders in their own right. They're going to want to be faithful in every relationship because that's going to carry over. It's going to carry over in your workplace, how you treat your wife, how you treat your kids.
You know why? And I triggered a memory what you were saying. I remember when I was we were really young in our marriage. I might have been, I think, 21, 22 years old. And I had a job as a security guard for a company, just taking the key, going around, the factory's closed, and I'm just checking, doing my rounds. And so I got my check one day, and it was $2 too much. I seen it, but I didn't say anything. So I worked the rounds again, and got my next paycheck, and when I went to go pick it up, they said, hey, before you come and get your paycheck, we need you to bring your uniform in. I'm like, well, why? Well, you're fired. I said, why? So they took me in, they said, well, we overpaid you $2. We tested you to see if you would tell us. I said, well, I'm lying. I'm saying, I didn't know you paid me over. He said, yes, you did. You knew that we overpaid you, and I did. And I said, well, why you fire me if you tell? He said, because if you're going to steal $2,
right?
He's right.
You're going to steal.
Isn't worth
you're going to
$2.
steal some of this $1 million of equipment we have you guarding.
That's right.
So we have to let you go.
Wow.
You know, and I'm young, I'm dumb, I'm stupid. You know, it's all about who, it's all about me. Yep, that's true.
That was true.
So I
meant
think,
the story was
true.
Yeah,
relationship leadership is key because seeing you guys in your marriage and the healthiness, you didn't become who you are today because
it didn't just happen because you're Kathy and you're Al, and so therefore everything was wonderful.
The Cinderella story, maybe.
we had choices like everybody else. You know, we always tell our kids, you know, you have to make the choices tell me who you are. And if you want to be this kind of person, then your choices will reflect that. Your decision to do that, you were selling your integrity.
Right.
And you learn that over the course, especially as you know.
For $2.
Yeah,
for $2. I know. For $2.
I know. At that time, I was yelling at them, cussing them out. I'm blaming them but never. And it wasn't until I was incarcerated when all these memories started coming back, and I was able to really look at my life up until that moment that I was able to see, wow, look at the bad choices I made, and you reap what you sow one way or another.
That's right.
Well, we talked about that. Is the why. Why do I want to be a man of integrity here, there, and everywhere? Because people are only going to follow me if they believe I am who I am.
Yeah.
And part of that's being able to say I'm sorry when you do fall. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes.
Is that true, Kathy?
It is a few.
You're going
Once
to
in
get
a
mad,
while.
you're going to get upset, you're going to get depressed. And the point is now is you can actually turn around. You can say, no, I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to be the person that I really want to be, and I'm going to turn around. I'm going to be the person that I'm supposed to be.
And that's
And
something they can learn.
You do that roundabout.
That's right. And that's something they can even learn where they are.
Yeah.
You can learn to be who you want to be. When you get out, it's a new beginning.
Yeah.
You had a new beginning, and you had a choice
Yes.
when you came out, how you're going to build your life. These men have that same choice to be the father.
That's right.
To be
And-
relationally.
And I want to encourage the
leader.
men when you hear what you're saying. It doesn't begin when you get out. It begins right
Now.
where you're at, right now.
You can decide now
Yes.
and start thinking about who you want to be. And portray that to your kids when they come on a family visit. Who this dad is going to be when he.
So again, it's about legacy, Ron. We talked about it earlier. If you're going to leave a legacy, you're going to leave a legacy.
Right.
Regardless.
Period.
Right.
Regardless. You get to pick what it's going to be.
That's right.
And if you want to leave a legacy of hope, of opportunity,
In peace.
and peace, then you have to do it intentionally. You have to be that person that's going to leave that kind of legacy. That's what's going to follow you.
That's powerful. You know, and I think of my journey and growing up in prison and really reestablishing the man that I wanted to be, right? Or not even reestablishing, because I was
Just
never
becoming that.
Right.
Yeah, it's not
becoming that man.
reestablishment. It's
But I
learning.
appreciate you saying that it's not too late.
No.
Right.
Right.
It's
Are you
not
still
too-
breathing?
Yeah, still breathing.
Then you can make a difference.
And you can make a
That's
difference. And I
exactly
think that the relationship leadership, I love that title, relationship leadership, right? Is that how it went? Or leadership relationship?
It doesn't.
You know, it doesn't matter because being a leader, you got to lead something, lead someone, and then the vehicle. What's the vehicle? The ship. You know, this is the vehicle we do it in. Our relationship, and I don't want to necessarily. I don't want to let people down anymore.
Right.
You know, I want my yes to be yes and my no to be no.
So here's what happened. Like last year at work, we had some problems. Some things happened relationally. And I was trying to decide what to do. And there was two things we decided to do. One, we were going to stand together. And two, we were going to speak the truth to each other in love. In love.
That's
So
awesome.
speaking the truth in love means I'm talking to you so we can go to the next step. Not I'm talking to you to correct you or you to correct me. So those two things are important in leadership. Why? Because now you can trust me.
Oh,
That's right.
Because you know I'm not going to abandon you.
Right.
And I'm going to be honest with you.
Right.
And isn't that what we want in life?
Yeah.
Someone that'll stand with you and will be
That's
honest with
awesome.
you.
That's
And we know
exactly
our wives will do that. They'll
Yeah.
tell us stuff we don't want to hear.
Yeah, that's true.
in love.
In
In
love.
love. And they really do it in love.
Yeah.
We may not always, as men, respond as much in love as they do. but
And that's good when you can find that type of camaraderie, right? When you know, when people know that you got their back, and they know like I got Kathy's back, she got mine. But when you're able to take that experience you're having here and take it to an outside of here and say, okay, you know what, we're gonna with our employees or with the people that we want to help elevate up, you know, higher than where we're at or whatever. That's what's important. Leadership in the relationship.
And if they don't trust you, they're not going to follow you.
Oh, that is a good word. We have to take another break, and so we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about how. How do you actually get there? What do you need to do right now where you are, and what do you need to do as you transition home? So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Dear son, it's been hard these last few years, watching you grow up without me in the picture. Never taking the time to find out how you were or what was going on in your life. You're just a boy, I thought. You don't need me. I didn't need my dad. He was never around, I told myself. But I was wrong, son. I'm supposed to be a grown man. I was selfish. I was stupid. I was thinking of me, not you. If I could go back, son, and change things, I would. It's taken me all this time being selfish to finally grow up and realize I need to be a responsible man. That's what I finally learned, not from prison, but the TYRO program. It's all about becoming a better, stronger man. Wish I would have gotten it sooner. Everything looks different to me now. I'm a changed person. I know I need to be there for you now. It's not about me anymore. It's not about being cool. It's not about who I run with. It's about mom. It's about you. It's about being a better man, learning something new in my life. It's about being a TYRO, a man worth following. I'm your dad. You're my son, and I love you. I am a TYRO. I'm a TYRO. Dad.
If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or just want to know more, contact your local Ridge Project facilitator or your caseworker.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Kathy Caperna.
And today we have Al and Kathy Caperna with us today, and it has been an amazing journey. Just this little time together has not only empowered and impacted me and Kathy.
And inspired.
Man, I know it's doing something for you.
Yep. So we're talking about leadership. We're talking about leadership in relationships, here, there, and everywhere. And so we talked about what that really means. We talked about why it's so important. And so now I really want you to share how. Like how do you do that? Kathy, you were starting to share.
Well, we were talking a lot about, with Ron sharing his story. He didn't start out deciding I'm going to be a convict and you were going to be married to one.
Right.
And I think a lot of times we forget that it's one little choice at a time. Probably most of you did not decide you're going to be a problem in the community. It just happened. You thought you had no choice, but you have a choice. And you have a choice now thinking about how you're going to be as a man worth following.
Nice. We here at when we become a TYRO, we talk about I was once the poison, but now I'm the antidote.
Right. I like that.
Yeah. So Al, how can somebody go from not being a leader or leading, I guess, because we're all leading the wrong direction. Now, what are some specific things that they could do to begin to lead in the right direction?
Well, when you said that, one of the things that came to my mind is one of my principles is when I'm talking to someone and leading them, they need to know I care about them more than they care about me. So you can't lead somebody that cares about you more than them, because then you're going to lead them into probably destruction. I have to care about you. So something very simple I do at work is when I'm starting a conversation with an employee, I try not to end it. It's like, I'm busy, I got to get going now, sorry. Right. It's I keep talking to them until they're done explaining what they want to explain. Now, as a leader, I have to let them off the hook.
Right.
But I don't run away saying, I'm sorry, I got to get going.
Right.
I let them finish what they're talking about because they know I care about them.
Wow.
And you build trust when people know they care about you.
Wow, that's really powerful.
That's good. So even finding balance in that, right? As a leader, you got to be able to know, I'm going to help you this far, but if there comes a time, because I think times even leaders, their ego could get in their way. Right. I've seen that happen where, I'm helping my employees, but now, in fact, I've seen it happen where businesses have fallen because the leaders were too engaged and they forgot their other responsibilities. Now that might be another subject.
They were engaged. I'm going to say that they were controlling instead of letting people.
Well, they weren't empowering; they were enabling. Right. We talk a lot about enabling, being an enabler. We don't want to be an enabler; we want to be an empowerer.
There it is. Yeah.
And it's a servant leadership. It's not just to step on them to get higher. It's how can you serve in a relationship, whether it's at work, at home, in the community, to help someone else, not just yourself.
One of my favorite examples of that, sorry, we keep jumping in.
Yeah,
no, that's good.
But I'll help my employees to go on beyond our company sometimes. So I had a very good employee. He was a great employee, and he had no concerns, but he was more than we needed. And I said, you can do more than I can offer you. And I helped him set up his own business, and he left.
Wow.
Now, I lost a good employee, but I helped him.
Yeah.
Right.
But everybody knows that. They go, okay, he wasn't doing that just for himself. He did it actually because he cared about him.
We had another employee that always wanted to be a counselor. Well, he couldn't afford to quit the job for us to go pursue that. And Al worked out hours and schedules so he could do what he dreamed of doing.
Wow.
But that's servant leadership. Right. And that can be done in a home. It can be done at work. It can be done in the community.
Wow, that is really, really powerful. So when we think about dads, we think about the choices that you've made that have landed you where you are, and that you're now redeveloping your entire reputation. I love that. Like thinking about how you can serve other people and how somebody else's needs, how can you meet those needs? So let's take it down to probably one of the most important. Being that leader in their kids' lives, that relational leader. Right. So what are some specific things? How can they really activate that type of leadership when there may be a lot of hurt and pain?
Ron brought it up well, too. I mean, kids need fences. So part of it is, we talked a lot about serving, but sometimes serving is saying no. So I know, for example, our daughter wanted to be in every sport at the high school. And we said, no, you can't be in every sport. She goes, well, you're controlling me. I said, yes, I am. But it's for your good.
Yeah.
You can't be in every sport and do well. So sometimes leadership is actually saying no. And our kids need boundaries. I mean, the world needs boundaries. They need leaders to say, this is the safe area and this is the not safe area. And we're staying in the safe area.
And that same decision affected our family time. If they were in every event, we wouldn't have had dinner together. And we wouldn't have grown as a family. We wouldn't have had that opportunity. When they're in high school, there's not much time to talk to them. Dinner was the time.
That's really cool. Awesome. And that's a decisive, that you guys came together in agreement with that. The leadership relationship as the parents, right? As a healthy parents too at that. You didn't do it because you were angry at her. You didn't do it because you wanted to punish her. Right?
Well,
we did it to help her.
And that brings up, our society has made everything kid-centered. And that is the worst thing you can do for your kids. As men, as fathers, the kids need a stable environment where they see that they fit into their life. You know, they fit into your life. You don't just fit into theirs.
Oh, yeah. That's great. That's really awesome. So we got to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to leave you with 3 tools, 3 tips that you can activate right now where you are that will help you be a leader in your relationships here, there, and everywhere.
So stay tuned, and we will be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You'll begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine TYRO's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Kathy Caperna. And we are here today with Al and Kathy Caperna. And we are super, super glad to have you here.
Glad to be here.
It's just been awesome talking about relationships and really leadership and relationships here, there, and everywhere. And how all of those things, you can't silo your life, but really learning to be a leader really just flows out into everywhere.
And really, you got to really look at who you say you are. And we're going to talk about those 3 things that you guys have for us. And now, and Kathy, I really want you guys to look into that camera and share with these men because we need to hear this.
The tools that they need in order to really
because when they come out, the world they left is not the world that they're coming into.
Right.
That's right. Well, but they have a perfect opportunity, Ron, to decide now who they want to be. You didn't decide you wanted to be that person that got in trouble. It happened through choices. You have a chance now to decide who you want to be, and that person that you decide you want to be will be consistent in your home, as a father, as a husband, in your community, and in the job that you hope to get. You want that consistency. And it's something you make a choice. You make a choice who you want to be now. You have a new beginning. Now's the time.
That's right.
So what would number 1 be then? Did you say what number 1 was?
Decide who you
want to be. And then that will trickle into all those areas that here, there, and everywhere.
Okay, awesome.
Then we talked a lot about servant leadership, and we've talked a lot about how we help other people. But then we touched on the fact that leaders say no. Leaders are not enablers, they're empowerers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to empower you to be who God created you to be and help you along that way. So sometimes I might be saying that's not a good idea. No, I don't recommend that. Run that by me. I know a man told me one time, he said, if you don't want to have what you just did on the front of the paper, then you probably shouldn't do it. On the front page of the paper, you probably shouldn't do it. And that's an easy way to decide what's right or wrong. Or you have a friend or someone that says, that's not a good idea, but go to good people and ask them for their help So you know when to say yes and when to say no as a leader.
I love what you said about how to empower them, right? Not enable them. So there's this thing we have, as leaders, we are CEOs, right? Chief Empowering Officers. Right. So I love that.
Well, that's what we do at work. My goal at work is not just to give my employees a job, it's to empower them so they can lead that job themselves.
Nice.
And when they do that, they feel better, they're more satisfied, and I don't have to work as much.
That's awesome.
That's good.
That's awesome.
All right, number
and
3.
So, the third one.
Speaking the truth, we talked a little bit earlier about being honest. And that's, again, choosing who you want to be. But deciding to be honest in all things, and you're approachable, then people can come to you when they see something, and you can go to them. Because what they see is what they get.
So speak the truth in love. You want that friend to tell you, hey, your shirt collar's up when you're in front of people. The simple things like that. But you do that because you care for that person, not because you're trying to embarrass them. If you see something in my life where, Al, you're missing it, you're walking off the road, then you're going to come and tell me because you care about me. So we got to speak the truth. You got to have people in your life that can speak the truth to you in love, like you guys do. Ron's a very straight shooter, as you know. He'll tell you what he thinks, he'll tell you what he sees, because he cares about you and your future. You need people in your life that are going to speak the truth to you in love. And you need to be a learner for life. And receive it.
That's awesome.
I want to just say one more thing to add to what you're saying. So gentlemen, listen, dads, if you're hanging around guys that are hating on people, that are always complainers and they're not encouraging, or they're not seeing the good in the moment that they're in right now, then maybe you got to reevaluate your acquaintances or the people you're associating yourself with, because you want to associate yourself with men who are lifting each other up, who are pushing each other to become better dads right where they're at right now.
And we just want to really thank you, Al and Cathy, for taking the time to be on the show and just impart the knowledge that you guys have, which is just incredible.
It's been amazing
wisdom.
and awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
Al,
Our
one more
privilege.
time.
Yeah.
Truly
Kathy.
our privilege, because we believe in you.
Thank
There
you.
we go.
Thank you so much.
So you know what? Thank you so much for allowing us to be part of your journey. And so until next time, always remember that we are rooting for you.
you.
Yeah.